Hello, 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 and welcome. Yeah, welcome. Today is the Q&A stream that I promised, so I have Cookie Clicker up today because I want to be able to focus on chat, and if I'm playing like Emerald Kaizo, then that's not going to happen. I'm going to be focusing too much on the game. So we're just here to sit and chat, and you can ask questions, hello, to me about pretty much anything. I can't guarantee I'll answer like questions like, oh, where do you live? Obviously. But yeah, other than that, oh shit. I don't know, if you have questions you can start, or we're just gonna sit and chat today. That fucking cursor. Oh really? That's good. I hope I'm not being too loud though. There's no like music in the game, so I'm like super conscious. This is Cookie Clicker 2. Oh my gosh, go away. Grandma and cursor. This is Cookie Clicker 2. I just found it on the web. I used to play this game a lot when it first came out. I've always wondered, I've meant to like look this up, but I've always wondered if there's a way to like not get the grandma takeover, you know? It's like, I don't know what to say because there's not much going on in this game. I can't see the achievements because like my microphone is in the way. Sorry if the mouse clicking is a little annoying. What's my actual name? I'm not gonna give my actual name. I'd prefer not to give that out. We have 3 grandmas. Also, I noticed the grandma from Wind Waker. It's very interesting. I don't know if this is like an official Cookie Clicker game made by the creators. Gosh, I didn't remember how slow the beginning was. I guess recently I've been reading a lot of the JoJo manga because I just didn't like get around to it. So I've been reading like part 8, JoJo Lion. It's been interesting so far. I'm like halfway through it, on chapter like 62. I'm trying to like, I mean, I can give an estimate. I'm like in my 20s. I'm an adult. I'm out of university. That gives you an idea. I won't say exactly, but it's like that age range. You should love unquenchably, dream unfaltering, and work unceasingly. Great thoughts speak only to the thoughtful mind. I'm reading this stuff up there. Because I remembered the first one having like the new stuff, and then of course, you know, like the grandmas take over once you have like a billion of them. You have 20? Okay. How much do they give you? Each grandma produces 1 cookie per second, 6 grandmas producing 6. So we're making like 8 plus 6. What's 8 plus 6? It's like 24. 9 plus 6. No, now we're making like 23 or something. Fucking math is hard. Oh, we just, you know, in terms of anime, we just finished BNA, which stands for Brand New Animal. It was actually really good, you know? I was surprised. I thought it was just gonna be like a cute little anime about like animal humans, like, wow. But no, it was actually like it had plots. It explored kind of like some moral questions that go along with like what happens if beast humans were real, like hardcore baking. It was like very interesting. I didn't expect that. Yeah, I started YouTube because I mean, I am not a hardcore gamer, but I'm a gamer and I like creating. I kind of like when I was little I just like I loved using a camera and I loved making videos and content and stuff like that. And I like to think I'm decently entertaining. I mean, I assume people subscribe because I'm entertaining. And I enjoy it. Like, I don't typically, like, wake up every day and then, like, oh man, I really don't want to stream, you know? Like, I'm actually like, yeah, like, I do want to stream. Like, I get to play games and I get to be myself. I'm sure like many like YouTubers and stuff and streamers are like, oh yeah, like I'm totally myself when I'm like streaming or like making videos. Oh, sorry, I haven't been looking at the Q&A tab. They have been. Okay. Golden Girls Persona 5 parody fan game that's being released. I have not heard about that. And top 10 JoJo stands. My top 10 JoJo stands would have to be, I like Crazy Diamond, Metallica, I like Catch the Rainbow, that one's a part 7 one, and so that's 3. What other ones do I like? I think part 4 had a lot of cool ones. Heaven's Door is kind of cool. I don't know if that's like my top 10 though. 10's a lot. I don't really remember a lot of the stands from part 3 just because like part 3 is kind of like meh. Yeah. I like to think I'm entertaining. I make people laugh sometimes. Sorry, I lost my track earlier. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of stands from part 3 just because I find part 3 kind of like meh. Because I feel like part 3 was kind of like Adake's like test run of the stands. So, and then he really refined it in part 4, and part 4 is like great. Giorno's stand, Gold Experience, that one has a cool ability. Oh shit, I should be paying attention to the cookies that are flying around. Yeah. But I was saying earlier, like, I'm sure a lot of streamers and stuff say, like, oh yeah, like, I'm totally being myself when, like, making videos and stuff. And to an extent, that's true, but you're also, like, you also have to be on and, like, be, like, consciously entertaining. Which I understand, but I really do, like, I do honestly feel like I'm just kind of, like, being myself in when I stream. Like, what you get is like what you see like off stream. I can't wait in this game to get to a point where it just automates itself. Am I caught up with the Pokemon anime? No. Pokemon anime has so many seasons. I've seen, I haven't ever finished Indigo League. We're actually, because I play Pokemon when I'm not streaming as well. And my boyfriend and I, we started watching the Diamond and Pearl anime while we play, just to like have something on in the background, you know? And then we have seen like some episodes of the Sun and Moon anime here and there. What is this? Oh. I didn't know I could do that. But yeah, we've seen a few of the Sun and Moon anime in the Japanese, the original Japanese dub. But I don't think I'll ever like get around to just sitting down and watching all of the Pokemon anime. It's a lot. And I don't know. I just don't really, it is an anime that's kind of made for kids. So it's like, sometimes I'm like, and you definitely see that more with the Sun and Moon anime. It's a lot more like, this is for children. Like, even as a child, like, nowadays, I actually sit down and I'll, like, watch shows. But, like, as a kid, I would just watch whatever was on TV. I wouldn't, like, ever be like, yeah, I'm gonna, like, go to this channel every week and like actively watch it. It would just be like, okay, this is on TV today, I'm gonna watch it today. So I never like actually like sat down and watched shows. I do it now because I'm older and I'm like, yes, I actually want to do that, but I never like actively was like, I'm gonna sit and watch shows as a child. I have considered One Piece, and actually especially because it's ending now. The only thing that like, hi, welcome. The only thing that like puts me off of One Piece is it's just so long. It is so long. But now that it's ending, it's like, wow, I can actually like catch up. Sorry, I keep forgetting to look at the question stuff. Least favorite Pokemon? That's a hard one. I'd have to think on that, but why did I use Haru as my profile pic? I used Haru as my profile pic because I love Persona 5. It is legitimately my favorite game ever. I love it. I don't care if that makes me cringe. I just love Persona 5, and Haru is like one of my favorite characters. So that's why Haru is my profile pic. Least favorite Pokemon. Oh, you know what? I really, really don't like Ariados. I don't like Ariados. I have been doing like a challenge run on my own time where I can only use like certain types of Pokemon, and it allowed me to use a Spinarak, and I was like, oh yeah, like I've never used an Ariados before, like this is gonna be so cool. And then I tried to use it, I just could not. I was like, dear God, I need to box this thing, I just can't. Yeah, the anime I guess would go on for a while. I know there's like a lot of filler in the anime too for One Piece. So that's also why it's kind of like, oh man. It's just very daunting, but I have considered it, and I might one day, but I don't know about soon. Persona 4 is also good. I just prefer Persona 5. It was the first one I played way back when it first released. and I instantly fell in love with it. I played 4 now. I played through Portable as well. It's a good series. I think Persona 5 has the best gameplay. It just cleaned it up a lot. Between 3 and 4. But I think narratively, Persona 3 has the best narrative. I still love Persona 5 overall, but I think Persona 3 actually had the best narrative after playing through it. The only thing that bogs 3 down for me is Tartarus. I just genuinely would sometimes be like, ugh, like I have to go and grind in Tartarus because I need to be ready for the next full moon boss, but I don't want to go through Tartarus because I would make sure to go to Tartarus like every week in game, and it just felt like I was just there. I was just there, and now I have to go back again. One Piece is only 9% filler. Yeah, probably, like, compared to, like, how big the anime, 9% is probably still a good chunk. But who am I? Like, what am I saying? Like, who am I to say that? I haven't even seen it. Why did I choose to stream Kaizo? Because people voted for it and I knew of it. I had never watched any videos. All I heard was that Kaizo is a difficulty. I thought it was a fan game at first, to be honest, but I just heard it was like a difficulty ROM hack game. And it's like really hard. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I don't know, that might be fun. Like, this gym of mine kind of took off, and like maybe people want to see more fan games, and I want to do what people want to see to like build my channel and stuff. So there was like a poll a while ago about what to stream next, and that was like Pokemon fan game was what was voted on, and I had like Emerald Kaizo listed on it because I thought it was a fan game and not just a hack. So that's why I decided on Kaizo. Yeah, going from Persona 5 to Persona 3, it's like there's a definite difference, because obviously the newest one's gonna have like the most up-to-date graphics and gameplay. The gameplay is still fun. It's just I found Tartarus to be really grindy, and it's very like samey. Like my thing is like, yeah, Persona 5 had Mementos, which is kind of like Tartarus, but at least Mementos wasn't like the main game. Like, yeah, you had to go to Mementos at some points to do like requests and stuff, because you had to like go down to the depths of it, to the very bottom, but you still had like the palaces to like space that out, and it never felt like you were forced to go to Mementos. But with Tartarus, it's the only dungeon, which made going into it very like, ugh. Dark Rising, Kaido, or Radical Red. I have not decided, but I do appreciate all suggestions. I might want to take a break from difficulty ROM hacks, but I can do another Pokemon fan game like Unbound or something. But we'll see. I think that also answered the other question. Yeah, like, I don't know. Just whatever like people suggest. I actually haven't played a lot of Pokemon fan games myself, so I'm pretty new to most of them. And I probably haven't heard of most of them because I'm not actively looking them out. But I'm always open to doing more Pokemon fan games. I'm also open to doing other games, like Ace Attorney was a good suggestion. I do like Ace Attorney. I have considered it, and I almost did stream Persona 3, but it's long, which is one thing. And then second of all, I ultimately decided not to stream it because I kind of just wanted to like, it kind of like stressed me out, the thought of it. Like at first I was like, oh yeah, like I'll do this, like I can stream it, but then it just kind of like stressed me out because I was like, oh, like I might not be able to like do it in my like in the way I want to, like in my own time. So I ultimately decided to like just do it in my own time to have like a personal experience rather than streaming it. And I also think the way I play Persona sometimes would frustrate some people because I don't like, I know like buffs and debuffs are really important, but I use them very sparingly. And I don't use physical skills a lot, which I know are good. I know it's good. It's just how I play, and I think that would frustrate people a lot. Nuzlocke and Unbound. I'm open to doing a Nuzlocke as well. I've done Nuzlocks before, so I'm not new to them, so I could do that. Yeah, I was thinking because like I really am like so ready for Persona 6. Like if they do, I know like Atlas likes to be Atlas and is like, oh, you can only stream this game like up to this point. And I was thinking like maybe to like get the best of both worlds, if Persona 6 comes out and they give those like guidelines like, oh, you can only stream up to like April in the game, like April the state in the game. I'll be like, maybe I'll do that, comply with their like guidelines, and then like just do the rest as a personal playthrough. So I've thought of doing that, but I'm not sure that like my opinion might change once Persona 6 comes out, which might not be for another few years. This game has finally started being more like automatic. Thank God. I'm like also trying not to be super loud. So that's why my voice might sound like it's breaking up and stuff. Especially when I talk about Persona or JoJo, because I get really excited and then I get really loud. And I don't realize that because I'm like focusing on the exciting thing and not like how loud I am. So I'm trying to like keep it down. Man, we haven't even gotten into a mine yet. Sorry, drinking water. Yeah, I've noticed like, because I can see all like the analytics of like where my subs come from. A lot of them come from this gym of mine, and I think it's just because you can be a gym leader in that game. that people like see that. Like my first video has like over like 5,000 views or something now, so a lot of people come from this gym of mine, and then people kind of assume that like I'm an expert on it because no one else has really like streamed it or anything or made videos. So like I get a lot of comments like, oh, how do you do this thing? And I'm just kind of like, I don't really know. And like I'll actually go back through my video to try and answer their question and like figure out like, oh, like how do you do this thing? Like maybe my video answers it. I am reading past the anime. I'm halfway through part 8 right now because I want to get caught up to part 9. Part 7 is really good. Really good. I think it's like the majority of JoJo fans' favorite part, and like it's obvious as to why. It's just really good. I do have some opinions on part 8 so far, but I'm not finished with it. So I don't know if like I should say them, but it's good, but it also has a lot of negatives for me. That's what I'll say about part 8 so far. Favorite JoJo Part 7 character? Hot Pants. Absolutely. Like, no doubt in my mind. Hot Pants is my favorite character. She was just super cool. If you haven't seen her yet, she's good. I think a lot of people like Euro Zappelli. I've not read Berserk. I've heard about it. You know what happens in Berserk? Damn. I don't even know what happens in Berserk. I watched like a few years ago, I watched Parasite. That one was an interesting one. Damn, like all the cookies I was just getting just like disappeared. I've mostly heard his name pronounced as Euro. I haven't heard Jiro. I've just mostly been hearing Euro when people talk about it, so that's why I pronounce it that way. And it's also spelled like a Euro, like the food. I do not know who Guts is. I'm really glad people are asking stuff because I was like, oh no, I might just sit here being silent, but like I've been talking about things that I like, so. Oh, like gyro? I don't know if it's gyro. Like I said, it's spelled like the Greek food, and I don't know Greek, but I think it's typically pronounced gyro because that's always how like I've heard the food and Euro's name pronounced, so that's why I pronounce it that way. Sorry, it is hard to like tell what pronunciation through text. Gyro? So Euro, but like gyro? Or gyro? Ooh, cursor, yeah. Wow, 600. You know, there was like an app game for this game. Have the grandmas taken over yet? Do they even do that in this game? We have so many. We have 35. My first Pokemon game was Pokemon Diamond. And my first starter in that game was Chimchar. Oh man. I don't know what Gyro Ball is. I don't know what that is. I don't think I've ever heard it. I do not encourage part skipping. Especially because season 1 is a mashup of part 1 and part 2, and part 2 is probably like my second favorite part, and I really like part 2. So like if you want to get into JoJo's, here's what I say. Part 1 and part 2 are both in season 1, and they kind of like complete each other. Part 1 is only 9 episodes in season 1, and it's meh. Like, I'll be honest, I think most people are like, yes, like part 1 is kind of meh. Oh, Gyro Ball, gotcha. Yeah, oh, okay, I see. But yeah, part 1 kind of meh, but part 2, it's kind of like part 3's problem, where I think like Araki was first like kind of just like trying it out, and then like he refines it in part 2. Part 2 is like the perfect sequel to part 1, and it's really good. I really like part 2. So like if you like, you can just get through 9 episodes of part 1, it goes straight into part 2. Part 2 is great. Perfect sequel, perfect ending. Like, it builds upon what part 1 set up. Really good. I see, yeah, I can see why you would pronounce it Gyro. I've always heard his name pronounced Gyro. But yeah, so part 2, great. Part 3, still good. But definitely kind of like part 1, it's like Araki's just trying things out and then refines it more. Part 4, part 3 is still good. It's not like part 1 is, but it's better. But you can definitely kind of tell he was like just kind of trying things out for a while. Yeah, so it's like a lineage, and so part 1 follows Jonathan, and then part 2 follows Joseph. Part 3 is Jotaro, Josuke, Giorno, and Jolene. There's Johnny, and then Josuke again, but it's like a different universe kind of thing. And that's why they're separated into parts, because it follows a different JoJo, but like it's typically connected. I did not beat Diamond on my first playthrough. No, as a child, I had a bad habit of always restarting games. I would rarely ever like finish a game. So I did not finish like my first playthrough. It took years before I finally was like got out of that phase and would actually like sit down and beat it. And even then, like, I'd platinum at that point, so I just played platinum. Who's Giorno? If you don't care about spoilers, I could tell you, but if you do care about spoilers, then I won't tell you. But the basic thing is he's part 5's protagonist. Well, that's like a spoiler for the ending. But if you really want to know, if you do care about spoilers, you can cover your ears. But like, he starts out like his power is he can imbue like life into things. Like, if he like punches like this like keyboard that I have in front of me. Okay, so if he punches like this keyboard, he can turn it into like an animal or like a living thing, like a tree or something. And then at the end of the anime, he gains a power where he kind of like, it's a little confusing, but he sends like the main villain into like this infinite hell where he's like being killed over and over again. Yeah, I just did it with all games. It wasn't like Pokemon exclusive. I would just keep resetting. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. The beginning of the games were just fun. I think like I restarted a lot in Skyward Sword too, and I liked that game, which isn't a popular opinion apparently. Yeah, kind of. He just like he got a power up basically, punched the main villain, and then the main villain just got like sent to like infinite hell, kind of. That's like the most simple way I could explain it. JoJo's can be a little confusing sometimes, but it is good. I feel like I haven't talked this much. I keep having to like drink water. Okay. More grandmas. There's a lot of upgrades. Million fingers? Oh wow, you have to get to 10 million. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, Jorno's theme is pretty good. That one's a good theme. I also think Jolene's theme is pretty good. They're kind of like hers is like kind of similar to Jorno's. I feel. I think like one time like I watched a video of some guy, I don't remember who it was, on YouTube. He like plays piano in public and he started playing like Jorno's theme. I think some people recognized it. It was a very interesting video. I also just like in general I love watching analysis videos. There's a guy I watched for a while. He did a lot of analysis videos on like everything, like Demon Slayer. He did for JoJo's. I think he did Inuyasha too. I'm just like, yes, that is what I like. I love analyzing this shit. I think JoJo is probably my favorite like anime and manga that I've seen. I really like Kimetsu as well. Kimetsu is really good. But JoJo is just like JoJo hits different. I think my biggest compliment to JoJo is that it's so creative. Like you just can't like I feel like most people just can't come up with the shit that Araki does, and it's so interesting. Start streaming chess. I'm not good at chess. I know like basic shit, and I'll get my ass kicked. If I do it now, then I'll be too focused on chess and not a lot on chat. My mind can only handle like one thing at a time, and then I forget shit all the time. I think it's time for another mine. You're not cool enough to look down on anyone ever. Why is that fucked up? I don't like these weird like supportive messages in a cookie game. Dude, Kimetsu is like so popular in Japan. It's super popular. Apparently it's like inescapable. Like the movie was one of the highest grossing like anime films of all time in Japan. Why did this light up? Sorry, I'm like focused on buying the things now. Why shouldn't it light up? Because I'm not there yet? It says 330 million. I think the frenzy is done. It's overrated? I mean, I don't know. I see people like criticize it for having a like simple story, which I can agree with. The story isn't like breaking grounds or anything, but like you can still like have a good, like you can still execute it well. Like you don't need to have like the most complicated story ever to like, if it's a simple story and you can do it well, then it's good. Like that's fine. You don't need to like do anything else. Just do what you do well. I also like, I think one of its strong points is its characters for me. I really like the characters. Shinobu is definitely my favorite. So the sucky thing, this is just like kind of random, but the sucky thing is that while the questions thing is there, it like I can't pull the questions thing up onto OBS, which is why I sometimes miss the questions. Ooh, factory. I can't believe like how quick it was to like get to this point where it's like mostly automated. I don't even have like the manga. I don't think I have any Kimetsu merch. I don't really like buy anime merch often anymore. I used to when I was younger, but now I don't really. I mean, that's the point of an adaptation, though. Like, yeah, it's the same. So, like, it's an adaptation. That's the point. It's gonna be the same story. It's like any book that's adapted into a movie, like Lord of the Rings. And the anime did add some stuff. Not a lot of stuff. Sloppy kisses? Ew. That's a gross achievement. And most manga, or most anime is adapted from manga. I must have not seen the hardcore Kimetsu fans. The only, I think like, the only what am I trying to say? Fandom. That's the word. The only fandom I'm like pretty active in is the Persona fandom, and I hate it. Ugh. I hate being active in the Persona fandom. It's very elitist, I find. Visual novels. I don't like visual novels. The only visual novels I like are Ace Attorney and Doki Doki Literature Club. Um, the reason is like Ace Attorney actually does something with its visual novel style. Like the text that you read is like actually important, and you have to actually like pay attention because it's important for finding the logic in like, oh, I should present this evidence here, or like I should press on this statement here. So that's why Ace Attorney is good, because it actually like makes the text important. And then Doki Doki is just like a nice like horror game that like I don't think most visual novels are horror games. Other than that, it's like most of them are just dating sims, and like they're just boring. It's like if I'm gonna like read something, I'll pick up a book. Yeah, I don't know why they made Mugen Train a movie, but that's what they decided. So I usually don't even like watch anime movies in general. Like I will only like watch anime movies typically if they're like canon, or like I need to see it before I move on to like the second season or something. But other than that, I don't. Like I watched Mugen Train because I mean it's literally canon to the story. And I wanted to see it, so. But I think if Mugen Train like wasn't a movie and then they made like a random movie, I probably wouldn't have seen it. I think I've heard A Silent Voice is good. Most like of the anime movies I've seen have been like Studio Ghibli. Last anime I just finished is BNA, which stands for Brand New Anime. Or Brand New Animal, sorry. It's on Netflix, and I thought it was really good, actually. It still had some problems. It's not perfect, but it was way better than it gave a lot more than I was expecting it to. That was just going to be like, oh, cute anime, like, Tanuki girl, like, doing cute things, like slice of life stuff. Yes, you may ask your question. I can't guarantee an answer, depending on what it is. But I will answer most things. Overall hated Pokemon type. That's a good one. Probably normal. I don't really like bug either, but when like bug types hit, they hit, you know? So like I feel like I hate normal more, and there's like good normal types like Snorlax. I think Clefable's pretty good too, but like I don't know, I just like typically don't try and use normal types on my like Pokemon teams. Yeah, I see that. But yeah, like purely going by like what I typically have on like a Pokemon team, I'll like plan out. I typically don't do normal types. Hey, it's subjective. I didn't say bug type was horrible. I literally just said when bug types hit, they're good. Like, probably my favorite bug type is like Araquanid. So cool. I love them. But yeah, anime, like all like art, like movies, anime, books, that's all subjective. Grandma's next. Scizor is also great. I also really like Scizor. But I think I like Arachnid a little bit more. He's just like a spider and he's got a bubble and he's bug water, and I think that's really cool. Also, his abilities are interesting. I don't tip I don't typically fuck around with like I don't even know if Genesect is considered a legendary, but I don't really fuck around with like legendary Pokemon. I don't know. They're just like not fun to use. If I were doing like a randomizer, I would use legendaries more, but just in general, I don't really use like legendaries. Oh, I love Scolipede too. Scolipede's pretty great. I just wish like Scolipede kind of got better moves. At least in space game. Grandma. What else am I doing? Oh, random fact about me. I think I mentioned this before. I have a ghost type Pokemon plush collection because, as you know, that's my favorite type. So I've collected quite a few ghost type Pokemon like plushies, and I have them kind of like scattered throughout the apartment. Kind of like it's a haunted apartment. I have Chandelure like hanging from the ceiling, which I think is like obviously the best place for a Chandelure. I'm not sure what that means. If you're running lucky, bet on Wobbuffet unless you're not fighting a ghost. I mean, I just love ghost types. I think my favorite plush that I have is my Shedinja plush. He's just so cute because he can like fit in your hand. And he's just small and cute, and I love him. Yeah, it was nice because like he's just got like a thing to hang him from, and then we just put like a nail up because we have like one of those low hanging like bars. So we just stuck a nail in and hung him from there. Now he's like our chandelier. And then I have a Poltegeist up like on top of the fridge because you know he's like a teapot. I also have it's like a really tiny Frostlass. It's very small. I also put Frostlass on the fridge because that's where the freezer is and where it's cold. Whoop. I literally went to take a sip of my water and the cap is closed. Whoopsie. I feel like I'm drinking a lot more water than I usually do. Orvane? Listening to Pizza Time? I don't know if I know Pizza Time. My worst fear? I have a phobia of needles. It's like when I go to like get a shot, I'm fucking terrified. I was getting my like COVID vaccines and stuff. It was hard. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like realistically, they're not that scary, but it's just like it terrifies me. Precision, I didn't know about the Wonder Guard. Oh yeah, yeah. Wonder Guard makes sense, especially because it only has 1 HP. Because then it would just be like useless. But I think it's cool that now with like terastallizing, you can basically make it invincible. Just like baton, like substitute baton pass into Shedinja with balloon with electric terror type. Then you just can't hit it because you have to break the substitute, but then you can't hit it because it has the balloon, and you can only hit it with super effective moves. Like that's crazy. Obviously, like they banned that in actual competitive stuff on Pokemon Showdown. That's also kind of why I don't play Pokemon Showdown. A lot of people know like broken shit like that, and it's like not fun to go up against if you're trying to just be like, yeah, I just want to, do this. I just want to fuck around and like have some Pokemon battles. But yeah, even though my Shedinja plushie is very cute, Duskull is still my favorite Pokemon and ghost type. He's just too cute. One day, like, I can't like sit down and shiny hunt on my own time, but one day, like, I really, really want to get a shiny Duskull. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised that like it's been an hour. I was very worried. I was like, oh no, I won't have anything to talk about. But I like chatting. I like talking with people, especially about my interests and stuff. I just wish I could like sit back in my gaming chair, but I can't with the way everything is set up. And now my back hurts. I don't know what that says. I'm very sorry. I can only speak English, French, and a bit of Korean. I should have done mine. Oh, the Moemons. I don't know. Bye-bye, though. Thank you for joining. Well, thank you for the help. I appreciate the help with finding things to talk about. I feel like I've put so many like cookie things down, but we're only at 7,000. Like, how could this be? $95.3 every click. I see. I feel like this doesn't even help sometimes. Self-growth is tender, it's holy ground? What the heck? That's weird as fuck. Is it just based off like the cursors? I don't know. The kids on YouTube. You're asking what the kids on YouTube are doing these days? What's the next movie I plan to watch? The D&D movie that's coming out. I'm yeah, I can read that. Qu'est-ce que les enfants sur YouTube jusqu'à ces jours-ci? Ces jours-ci, sorry. This is what that guy said in French. Who is that? Oh, the guy who came in? Oh. I don't know what the kids are doing these days. But yeah, so there's 2 movies I'm excited to come out this year, but I'm tentatively cautious. That's the D&D movie, which is the end of the month, and then Indiana Jones. Those 2 are the ones I want to watch next. Both of them I'm like cautious. I'm optimistic, but I'm cautious. Especially for Indiana Jones. Because it's the 5th movie. And like modern movies can be a little iffy. I swear I'm not like a movie snob or anything, but sometimes modern movies don't hit the mark, especially when it's like rebooting a series or like, you know, they're not exactly like rebooting the series, but it's been a while since the 4th one, which people didn't really like. I'm kind of sad that this game doesn't have like the news stuff. It's just like these motivational things, and I'm like, oh, they have names? Oh, I didn't know that. Wardy, jeez. Oh, that's so cute. Bunny. Gaga, okay. Tootsie. Some of these are weird. Peanut. Who names their child Peanut? Gam Gam. Stinky. There's just a grandma named Stinky. My Russian is very basic. You just click the cookie. That's why I picked this game, because it's very like I don't have to pay attention to it, and I can just like pay attention to chat more. You just want to make a bunch of cookies, and you're building like a cookie empire. Before I got distracted by the grandma names, I wish it was like the news and not motivational shit, because like I think everyone loves the grandma takeover in the official game. This game was very popular when it came out, especially when people found out about the grandmas. I've considered getting into Hunter x Hunter. That one's also how many chapters is it? I actually don't know, because I know like the author of it is he has a lot of health problems, which is why like updates have been slow. But I've considered getting into it. I've heard it's really good. I have 59 grandmas. Ah, Jesus, my fucking throat. Mine. There we go. Yeah, we made it to 10,000 cookies. The bank, though, is gonna be a while. Oh, is it? I did not know that. Yeah, that would probably indicate that they are a fan of Hunter x Hunter. I think, like, well, I do still watch anime and stuff. I was much, much more into anime when I was younger. I kind of, like, chilled out. I mean, I'm still watching anime, but I've, like, mellowed. I don't know what we're gonna watch next. Oh, you know what's a really good anime? If you haven't seen it yet, Monster. Monster is a really, really good anime. Would recommend. I don't know if we'll reach the champion tomorrow. We did get really close to beating Glacia, which someone was like, oh man, Glacia is gonna give you so much trouble. But we did get pretty close to beating her when we had Skipper up front, which I'm glad I remembered. I put Skipper up front. I have to remember to do that tomorrow. It was just like we just fell to that Lapras, and I think that Lapras might have had a Quick Claw, which is why it was faster than Aggron, because Aggron was typically faster. Oh yeah, I loved it. It was so great. I was fucking like Urunge. He was a bastard the whole time, and then he goes on his vacation, and then like finally gets on Tenma's side, and I'm like, ah, oh, yes. He became like, he went from I hate you to like, yes, I love you. I mean, it was just like so interesting seeing, like, he really was like telling mostly a story about post World War II Germany, the author, and that's cool. And you know, like, that was the height of spies and everything, which you have Wolfgang, I forget his name, the amazing Steiner guy. Lapras is faster than Aggron, but my Aggron has always been faster than Lapras. Darn. I was like so ready for Aggron to be faster than Lapras, because he had been, but now he's not, and I'm like, what the fuck? That sucks. No! I missed it. I'm getting tired. I might end stream soon. Yeah, it might have been a level difference, but it makes me sad. This is pretty much just a game where you just leave a tab open for it and you just kind of check it after a while. Oh man, I'm like so tired now. I'll do last call if you have any questions you're dying to ask. Yeah, new plan for Lapras. Fucking I don't know. But yeah, last call for questions if you're dying to know something. I know. I mean, that's part of the like scariness of Johan. It's just he could like that whole part where he was like just like playing with all those kids. I forget where, but he was just like playing with them, and that whole part where you see these kids like totally infatuated with him and like learning to like not be afraid of death and like almost, you know, unalive themselves. Like that's scary. That was truly one of the moments where I was like, whoa, like he is really scary. Well, kids aren't really meant to witness those things. Cookies. My thoughts on cookies. I like cookies. This might be basic as fuck, but I like chocolate chip cookies a lot. I don't like this cookie that's on the screen that you have to click. It's like an oatmeal cookie, oatmeal raisin or something. Why would you pick that cookie? Literally trash cookie. Nah, I just like chocolate chip. 'Cause I like chocolate. I don't know, like, is red velvet a unpopular flavor? I don't know, like, what are people's thoughts on red velvet? It's not really a cookie, but I like red velvet donut. Yeah, but yeah, you probably would ask this stuff on a normal stream, but we also don't have like an intense Pokemon game going on, and like I'm actually able to just kind of like look at chat and not be like, oh my god, I'm about to lose this battle for the 10th time, like how do I save it? Like I'm actually like being able to dedicate and elaborate my answers and not get distracted by like, oh man, here's another crit, and now like my whole plan just went out the window. You know? I feel like I've been more like elaborate in my answers than like on a normal stream where like my brain's trying to focus on like the game at hand. Oh man. It's also like super cloudy outside right now, so it's like dark, and I don't think that helps. Yeah, thanks to everyone. It wasn't a lot of people, but thanks to everyone who actually came out. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun. I like talking about things I like JoJo and Persona and Pokemon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go now though. I'm really tired. But yeah, thank you so much for joining today. I'm glad this wasn't just me sitting here. Yeah, I mean, I could do a birthday stream. My birthday's not for like... Do you want my birthday? It's not for like 2 months, like almost exactly. It's like May 24th. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. Other than that, yeah, So if someone's here and you're not subscribed, maybe think about subscribing, leaving a like. This was just a chill stream. We'll get back to Kaizo tomorrow. Yeah. But other than that, thank you so much again for coming. I really did enjoy this stream, and I really appreciate it. So, yeah. All right, I'll get going now. Bye bye.